Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, click on the bell notification for more videos on graphic design, UI UX design, soft skills, and anything digital skills. You're welcome. If you're returning, thank you for joining in back again. Thank you and stay tuned, please. Hello and welcome to this tutorial on soft skills. Soft skills have to do with teamwork, analytic thinking, active learning, problem solving, critical thinking, leadership, use of technology, time management, emotional intelligence, and work ethics. And it is important that these things need to be checked, and one need to get these skills in order to fit in today's um, world. And in any field you find yourself, you need some of these skills to be able to do well. So it is important you learn these skills for you to be able to work as a team in your organization, to be able to carry up your work perfectly. You might have your degrees and have the certificates, but when you don't have these skills, it will be difficult for you to cope in an organization, even to run your own personal business, because you lack these skills. Some of these skills will help you to know how to interact with your co-workers. If you're an employee or an employer, you would have to communicate with those you employed, and also to your clients. These skills helps a lot to grow your brand, like grow any business you're into. So without wasting much of our time, what is problem solving? Because we want to face problem solving as one of the as one of the soft skills. So problem solving is the topic we are treating out of other topics there. So problem solving is the process of a problem analysis and solving it in the best way possible for that situation. A problem that comes as a result of workflow, as a result of trying to handle a particular um, um, case, or trying to do a particular design at workplace, and then a problem comes up. So the process of you solving it, analyzing to be able to resolve and give it a best way, a best approach to have that situation solved, that is problem solving. Analytic thinking and innovation. Analytic thinking is the ability to tackle complicated issues by evaluating information you have gathered and organized. You see, analytic thinking is the ability to tackle complicated issues by evaluating information you have gathered and organized. Okay, so because we want to talk about analytic thinking and innovation as part of what will help us to do problem solving. You understand? Analytic thinking is the ability to tackle complicated issues by evaluating information you have gathered and organized. So when you are thinking, tackling complicated issues, evaluating informations that you gather towards solving that problem, it is called analytic thinking. Now, innovation is the ability to come up with new ideas and approach to solving those problems. Assuming you have a problem in your workplace, and maybe you're a graphic designer or an upcoming one, and then a client give you a work to do after designing, and you show the client say, I love this design. The client is only um, maybe concerned on the designs on the background, and then after saying I love this, instead of him or her to go through, like, check very well concerning um the main thing, like checkmating the typographical errors, or like checking if the information he or she is supposed to be giving is there. You just go through the designs and like, I love this background, beautiful design, the way you arrange it, the text, all those things, I love it, beautiful. And he or she goes ahead to say, please, I'm giving you your complete payment. please forward the work for me. And maybe if it is a work that should be printed out, maybe a flyer, a brochure, or whatever, and after the job have been delivered, the client finds out that a particular vital information that he or she needed to put there is not there. Maybe his social media handles, or his phone number for people to contact him, depending on the kind of job. And then the thing is very, very important. And then you think of how to solving this problem. Like when you're trying to solve it, you could come up with maybe a new tactics. Like, how am I going to solve this problem? How do I do it? Okay, should I type those things and start sticking it in that already flyers for people to see? Should I add um the information on the job I've already done, maybe on the system on my computer, and then send him or her the soft copy to be able to share the correct one, the correct one from that soft copy, and then forget about the hard copy you've already done. So in you thinking out something new that have not been done before, um it's an innovation. Or maybe let me use this. You were doing something with your system, you were designing, all of a sudden the system trips off, and then you've been thinking, what could be the problem, only for you to open the back side of your laptop and you find out that your hard disk is only for you to open the back side of your laptop and you find out that your hard disk is not in order, like it's shaking. You are the one to look like maybe for a paper to fold in and place it and then cover back for you to be able to be using it. Think of something to do it. So now let's look at steps in analytical thinking and innovation. Step number one: identify a topic, problem, or issue. This involves selecting the particular problem to be solved. You have a problem, no doubt. You identifying it, uh, um, the problem involved, or the issue, for you to be able to do what, to solve it. When you don't identify a problem, you cannot be able to solve it. When you hear people trying to, nah, how are we going to solve this problem? And you come out from nowhere and say, I can solve it. When you don't even know what they are trying to solve, it's not done anyway. Now, point number two is collecting data. When you know the problem, you need to collect information, source them. You understand? Source data. I mean, the information that will help you to solve the problem. Like you could Google, you could go to YouTube and then check out if this kind of problem have occurred somewhere and how did those people tackle it. You can ask questions depending on the problem you're trying to solve. Now, the next point is they said this part involves breaking down the information gathered into smaller bits. You have collected the information, you break it down for it to be able to be useful for you. You know, this particular information I've gotten will suit this side, or you just like kind of you putting things in a sieve and you're sieving it to take those ones could be of help, and then put the other ones one side. Not that it cannot be helpful today, maybe in a nearest problem solving issue. All right. Steps in analytic thinking and innovation continues. Point number four: explain relationship. This involves an analytic analysis of the bits of information and connecting the similarities between these informations. Now, you when you see those problems that I use as an example, you'll be able to like place them where they belong. Similarities. This has to do with this one. This has to do with the other one. So that because there are some problems that look alike. So when you're gathering information, there are informations that could help in solving problems. So you put them according to where they belong. Now the next point is formulate theories. At this stage, you and I are supposed to make interpretations from available information and drawing conclusions. Those theories on how to solving that problem, someone created them. So when you gather or you need to be able to make out something out of those things, and then be able to create something that could help you solve the problem that you're facing. Develop solutions. After understanding the information, then you can use logic, develop probable solutions. So in this case, you need logic very well to develop solutions by yourself. That is what we're talking about, both analytical thinking and innovation. You'll be able to develop some solutions in all those steps you've taken. You'll be able to say this is the best approach, that is the best approach, and then you could be able to solve it. Okay. Now, developing analytical thinking skills. How am I supposed to develop it? I've had steps in doing it, but how am I supposed to skill one need to be developed? Okay, number one, you need to be reading books. You need to be reading books and work an active reading strategy. Like proactively read and digest questions in what you're reading. You ask yourself questions from what you're reading. Books that have to do with what you're doing. Are you trying to become a graphic designer? Why don't you look for books that could help you to do well in that field? So books that could help you do well in that field, when you get them, it will help you to not just to do well only, it will help you to be able to see some questions you would have been asking unnecessarily. When you see those questions, you'll be able to answer them by yourself. There are some what do we call it, creative and thinking books out there that when you Google, you could be able to see them and then read them. And one of the funniest things is some of them are ebooks already, not something necessarily you could get as a hard copy, although there are hard copies anyway. Now, point number two is learn how things work. By scrutinizing how things work, you have a better understanding of the process. See, this is a step-by-step thing. You read books, you work an active reading strategy, trying to be able to read up and then learn how things work, follow things the way they are. There are people who have always been there before, they've seen things and how they are. And when you read those books, you see steps you should follow. Learn those things and try trying them out before you could be able to try your own things you think out. Try to learn others first. Now, how do you develop analytic thinking skills? Continuation. Point number three, asking questions. Asking questions to help develop better problem solving skills, retention, and memory of a subject. You ask questions. Remember, the first was for you to read and answer questions, like proactive reading and see questions. This one, you ask people questions, ask those people. You should be able to have a role model, you should be able to have someone you're looking up to in that field you're into, even if you don't even know that person. Maybe you're following that person on YouTube or something. So ask questions, even on Facebook, ask questions anywhere you see any social media platform. Ask questions to people that you're following, and you need to follow those people that are in line with what you're doing in your organization. Ask questions. Ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you cannot develop a better problem solving skills. Anybody that is his or her own self, you can never be an island. Then you can never be better. Yeah, because you don't communicate, you don't ask questions. When you ask questions, people will give you an answer. Even though some answers may not be relevant, yet it will expose you to some things. But there must be those words that are relevant to what you're asking for. In so doing, you'll be able to be developing those skills that could help you analytically. Good. The point number four is think about your decisions. Think hard and rationalize your decisions. Do not just wake up and say, I'm going to do this. When you say, I'm going to do this to yourself in solving that problem, also think of it, how I wish, how about if I do it, it will not yield fruit. Like, think hard and rationalize your decisions. What are the pros and cons of your decisions? What are the pros and cons of your decisions? Ask for an expert opinion if any available, or do extensive research. Like, what are the benefits? And that is what I mean by pros and cons. What are the benefits, and what are um what could be the chances that this might not be favorable? What are the things I stand to lose if I continue with this decision and solving this one? So when you ask yourself these questions, you'll be able to answer them by yourself, and then you think very well before taking action. Very, very important. Let's move on. Analytical thinking skills. Number one, communication. I think you heard me say the other time that it is very, very important that you look into you communicating by asking questions. So these skills could help you very much. Like, when you communicate, you have people, even though you don't make friends normally. Like me, I do make friends, but I don't have a particular. There's something that there's a difference that you make a lot of friends, and that you have you have someone you call your friend. Everyone is my friend. If I notice that you're doing well, I could just become your friend because I want to learn something from you. Do you understand? So in that field that you are into, you need to have friends, people you could communicate with, like asking them some things. Okay, ability to effectively communicate the analysis that has been conducted. The analysis may need to be presented in written form, either through a report or email, depending what you're doing. If it's an organization that you need to to write to people, communication helps a lot. Ability to communicate the analysis that has been conducted already. The analysis may need to be presented in written form. So communication is a good a skill that you need to acquire to be able to be a good problem solver. You understand? Be able to reach out to people, tell them these are the things steps I'm taking on. See. Do not be a person of your own only. You are liable to make mistakes when you do not do what you're supposed to do. Now, creativity is the nice point. Many problems require out of the box thinking in order to find optional solution. The obvious solution may not always be most effective, and therefore it is important that you be able to think of creative solutions. Everyone is creative. I don't believe that there are people who are not creative, but it depends on their area. So when you find out your area of creativity, you utilize it very well. So when you get out of, you stretch your mind, just like you stretch your band, you stretch that your mind. Reading books will help you stretch that in. Then you think of something, be creative, like how am I going to do this? Like I told earlier, you could say, how about if there are places there is space in this and handbill in this flyer, so I'll be able to paste or stick that your phone number there. You're thinking out something, though the mistake might not really be from you in that job that you did. It could also be the fault of that client, or you trying to help to return that client so that he could come again and say, the last time I did a mistake, I did not add my social media handle. This guy or this lady helped me after the job might have been printed and helped me stick it. And you see that person come back to you again. And using this as an example, because I'm a graphic designer. So you know your field of study. You could also use yours to better understand what I'm trying to make out here. So let's go ahead. Point number 2, critical thinking. It refers to the effective analysis. Critical thinking, it refers to the effective analysis of a complex problem to form a judgment. What do you understand by it refers to effective analysis of a complex problem to form a judgment? Because you have done analysis, and then um you need you need to form a judgment towards that thing. After analyzing, you think and think again, like kind of how am I going to do I just stay there and then conclude? So critical thinking, it has to do with you thinking out. After analyzing all those things, all those points you've gotten, you need to think again to be able to solve that problem, to give that problem a good judgment, like give it a solution. Point number 4, analysis, that is data analysis, the ability to analyze large volume of data and identify patterns and trends. It is important when you've gathered those data, their volume, and you'll be able to identify patterns and trends, know how those things works, know how to apply things, know how to do things work, and also know what is relevant to the problem you're trying to solve. Now, do research. That's the next point. This requires collecting information on relevant data, then compiling it before analyzing it. Before you analyze those things, after you might have collected information, my dear, you compile them. Compile them. Research is very important. When you do not research, you will not do well in any field. Show me anybody that is stagnant in his or her field of career, and I'll show you someone that does not research. Now, I know you might have learned something from this, no matter how short the class is. This tutorial, I know it might have you. It's very helpful to you. So I would want you to discuss 2 ways to develop analytical thinking in your own understanding according to this lesson. And if you have a question, please do not hesitate to drop on the comment section. I would want you to tell me the next video to make if you so wish. I love you and thank you for joining this channel. Do well to share it, do well to subscribe, hit the bell notification, and click the like, comment for more videos. Thank you and God bless you. Bye.